Okay, this is going to be day 156, part 2 of the Awan Brotherhood. This is going to be more about hacking, not so much about using ISI and the forces of the Muslim Brotherhood. What's interesting is ISIS actually was formed from the Pakistani Intelligence Services, which is ISI. They just added an S for all the different brotherhoods that were created by the ISI. So it's just a little interesting thing going all the way back to 1979 when Zbigniew Brzezinski started the Mujahideen, which became Al-Qaeda, which became ISIS. Anyway, the hacking. We're talking about the Awan brothers and their company Nanoset Technologies, and it's a derivative, very subtle difference, but it's a derivative of a company called Nanoset Technology, singular, started in 2002. So Imran Awan goes all the way back to 2004. What they've done is they've used this hacking organization to kind of peel off different companies. Nanoset LLC, Nanoset Technologies, plural, etc. So it's kind of clever how these kind of hacking spoils have been gleaned off of Nanoset Technology, singular. So here are all the Awans here. I think I might have skipped a page. With all the car companies and so forth that I talked about the last time. And here are the Awan brothers and this Nanoset Technology government contractor. And they say they've only done about $1 million, but I'm going to drill down on this. Again, I think I was on the right track here with Nanoset Technology. Here's Abdul Hasnat. I think it's also Muhammad Abdul Hasnat. You can see here he's a senior engineer at Nanoset Technology in the Fort Worth area. They started out in Bedford near Dallas, and then they moved down to Waco near the VA hospital in Waco. The partner he has is this Soraya Begum, who is a doctor of internal medicine at the Virginia and Maryland VA hospital as well. So it's kind of an odd combination of a technology person and a medical internal medicine doctor at the VA Maryland Virginia hospital there. So anyway, nothing against that, no laws against that. But I did call though, because of the relationship to the Awan brothers, because of the relationship to their being involved in fleeing to Pakistan, imprisoning their mother, with offshoring cash, all those things. I thought it would be worthwhile to call the VA and just warn them of this association with Nanoset Technologies. And one of the things I discovered was in the Vault 7, just these recently released hacks, is what's known as a zero-day flaw. A zero-day flaw is one of those flaws that, let's say these are days. On day 8, you don't know about it. 7, you don't know about it. 6, you don't know about it. 5, you don't know about it. But on the 0 day, let's say this is day 0, all of a sudden there's a flaw where you can get into that router. And once you're in the router, then you can start finding servers and finding passwords. Well, Nanoset Technologies does what they call security audits to find those 0-day routers, and they sell Cisco routers. So Abdul Hasnat can come out to your site. Of course, he also could hack your system if he had been implanted a revenge motive by some radicalizing Islamic terrorist group. But let's just roll forward. Yes, he is an expert in Active Directory, which is the server and passwords, kind of permission system. And yes, he is an expert in Cisco routers. Again, lots of evidence to show that the company was not formed in 2011, but it goes all the way back to 2002 with this Soraya Begum, which I believe is the Interior Minister for Pakistan. Again, that's one great way of offshoring technology and offshoring weapons programs like bioweapons programs, or offshoring testing programs. If, let's say, you wanted to test on a population like the VA, you could offshore it through a foreign agent. Now, foreign agents are required to register. They are not on the terrorist. Pakistan is not on the terrorist watch list, but still, you should know when a person has top secret access. Now, the accounts, there are 300 enterprise accounts here that have this 0-day flaw that the Cisco is warning their customers about. So I would like Cisco to publish that list of who the 300 customers are. Of course, they probably won't, because that would tell hackers where to go. But I think those 300 accounts are going to include a lot of enterprise government customers. And that list needs to be subpoenaed by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence to see if any work or security audits was done by Nanoset Technologies, especially the VA and especially the United States Army at the base in Texas, Killeen, Texas, Fort Hood. I'm going to be looking especially at Fort Hood and all the VAs, especially the VA in Maryland and Virginia and the VA in Waco, Texas. Again, if we didn't have this company being registered with one of the Pakistani nationals murdering someone at a car dealership in a business that the Awans were involved in, I wouldn't be suspicious. If the Awans hadn't put up a whole bunch of paraphernalia talking about Pakistan 111, the killer squad that is a part of the ISI, Pakistan ISI, they weren't involved in the drug business, re-encapsulating animal pharma for human use in the VA and human use in nursing homes. I wouldn't be saying this, but a lot of these things I find go together. If they didn't own a rice importing business, they weren't making 16-month apart rice orders like they were for their cutout companies, again, I wouldn't have that same level of suspicion, but all these other things kind of accumulate. If they hadn't fled to Pakistan, if they hadn't had an external server, if they hadn't worked on our top 3 security committees in the House, I probably wouldn't have as many suspicions. If there wasn't 20 burglaries in the House, if there wasn't 31 different congressional staffers covering it up, and under threat by McCabe, I would have less suspicion. Again, this is the most sensitive information in our country. These are the most sensitive agencies in our country. I wasn't the one who asked for top secret clearance for these 6 foreign nationals. Jackie Spear was. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was. So we'll get into all their other businesses for bringing folks over and for employing them with overseas employment, OEP, Awan Brothers, OEP.com, Awan Brothers Transport for the fruit. We'll get into all this a little bit later, but again, if you're working full-time at the House of Representatives, what do you need a fruit company for? What do you need to be transporting fruit for? What do you need a gas company for, a BP station for in the middle of Pennsylvania? What do you need a computer recycling company for? What do you need a visa processing service for? Why all these cutout companies? And again, Hillary just focused on fresh products and mangoes all over emails. Again, we're going to be looking at this new Dawn Corporation that the Awans formed as well on the 29th of July, 2011. That'll be coming up in future episodes.